also
but why
the
wouldn't we
ammunition
do
that
that
goes with them.
Why wouldn't we do that?
We don't have those
the
systems.
Sanctions are
we
not
don't have
working.
Eastern Bloc systems.
The sanctions
Harris,
are, and I heard you say that. I understand that. But you know, you're going to have to backfill some of that. You're going to have to backfill some of those items, I would imagine, with these countries too. So we've got to be right there. And look, the American people. I want to show you where the American people are right now. Let's put it up, because
Harris,
I think that's important.
I'm a military guy.
I
don't do domestic politics. Let me just explain to you what I'm seeing and what my understanding is.
General,
again,
with all due respect,
I don't do polls.
I just want to show,
helping you understand what you're seeing.
I do understand that, but I want to show you, because there's somehow a disconnect that's happening, and it's important. People trust you.
Now, that may be true,
they
and
know.
I'll leave that to you all to highlight that.
Well, and I want you to see it. A new poll does show that more than half of people disapprove of the way that President Biden is handling Russia's investigation. Do you approve of how Joe Biden is handling the invasion of Ukraine? 53% say no. So getting your expertise and understanding what is really possible is important, because there is a disconnect right now. And short of maybe a fireside chat from this president, I don't know necessarily what changes it, but hearing from you, that's important. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. What can we give them to shoot down Russian planes? Because that's what you're talking about, artillery for an S-300 system. We must be able to give them something, because what they're about to do, according to the Russians, in the East, with this new general that they hired over the weekend to put him in charge, the butcher is what they call him. What they're about to do to the people of Ukraine, they're going to need more. And maybe these other countries are closer.
So can I answer?
But you say we are so special.
Can I answer, Harris?
Yes, please.
Can I answer? Okay. What we have done, in fact, is work with Slovakia so that when Slovakia provided their S-300 air defense system, which ranges above the 10,000 feet that the Stinger missiles that we have already provided in very substantial numbers to Ukraine, which are knocking down hundreds of different fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft, that was backfilled by Patriots. That's how that happened. It was done somewhat quietly. I mean, eventually there was an announcement about it, but that's what we're doing, combing Eastern European with our NATO allies to find these systems that they could transfer to the Ukrainians, that the Ukrainians could use immediately because they're compatible with what they have, which our systems are not. We cannot provide them Patriots or the other systems like that. There'd be a train-up period. And what we're doing is we're backfilling with U.S. and other NATO allies' capabilities, with us manning those systems until over time we can train them, equip them, give them the maintenance, spare parts, and actual end items themselves. We're doing that across the board. Again, I made the effort last night specifically to reach out to a very senior member of the Pentagon who I know and trust from years of combat together. And I'm quite convinced that we are doing that. Now, you may highlight, rightly, a communications issue. That's a different issue. What you're asking me is what I think that we are doing. Look, it's never going to be enough. I was never satisfied as a commander in the battlefield, again, under a Republican or a Democrat, that we had everything that we possibly needed. It's about a relative question. Are we doing what we can? And I think we are. I mean, we've also committed over something like $2 billion just in military assistance, and then much, much more in other terms, in terms of humanitarian and economic assistance and so forth. And of course, we're also really putting the screws to the Russian economy, the financial system, Putin's inner circle, and even the business community, which is leaving in droves, as have been some 250 to 300,000 Russians who are voting with their feet and leaving the country that they now see as an international pariah. So there's a lot going on, and I appreciate the opportunity to lay that out for you. Again,
absolutely.
I am non-partial. I don't support or vote or anything else either party, but that's how I see that, Harris, and thanks for the opportunity.
No, I'm very grateful for it. And just to kind of fill in one thing about the Brits, they have done more sanctions than anybody. We need to catch up on that.
Exactly
right. We need to put a chokehold on Russia's ability to sell its energy. And I know you don't want to get into the politics, but you started with, I'm supporting this current administration, and there's some problems right now. And I'm glad you and I were
I'm not supporting the current administration. I'm saying that what they are doing has been impressive. Again, I don't do political support. I do analysis of what administrations are doing. And in this case, I think they are doing an impressive job. Now, should they communicate it better? Yeah, they sure should. And probably, again, you ought to invite some of them. It would be great if the NATO commander, who happens to be a U.S. four-star, could come on and explain what it is that they're doing for Ukrainians.
Well, as you said about the Patriots backfilling, some of this is done very quietly. So there will be things
some
that
of it
we
should
don't
be done
know.
quietly,
but when it
frankly.
comes to those sanctions, that could be very public, because if you choke off the energy money that is pouring into Russia to be able to do more war, that would make a huge difference. General Petraeus,
let me encourage you to invite the Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, Wally Adeyemo, brilliant guy who is piecing together what Russia needs in its various supply chains and then going to sanction them, identifying the major industries.
Right.
That'd be a great story as well.
Appreciate the tip.
Thanks again.
General,
Great to be with you, Harris.
You too. Under pressure.